י"ט עמוד ב', starting from י"ט עמוד א', 2, 4, 6, איפה? 6 line from the top. ושווים אלו ואלו, so we brought, no, you go to י"ט עמוד א', 6 line from the top. So we said in the Mishnah מחלוקת between בית שמאי בית הלל argue, according to בית שמאי, anything that the work will go into Shabbat, even if done by itself, it's not allowed. But בית שמאי. בית הלל said it's fine, it's okay. As long as you started before Shabbat, we don't care if the world continue on Shabbat. Why? What's the essence of the machloket? Bet Shammai hold, since any melacha of the oraita from the Torah is prohibited, that done by itself on Shabbat, you should not do. So if you start anything, what's prohibited cannot be done on Shabbat by itself, even by itself, because it's prohibited from the Torah. So the Mishnah concluded that both of them agreed, ושווים אלו ואלו שטוענים בטבעת. When you have the oil press, they used to grind the olives before they press it. Anything that you grind, the liquid is going to come eventually by itself. When you press it, you're just causing it to... Yeah, that's what we said in the Mishnah. When you pressing it, when it's grind, you're just expediting the process. But anyway, the oil is going to come out by itself. So therefore, even Bet Shammai agrees.
It's not by itself, because you're doing it.
No, it's going to come by itself, but it will take longer. When you putting the press, that causing it just to come faster. So since from it's only assumed the Rabbanan, not Midoraise, not from the Torah. So therefore, even Bet Shammai, you are machmir that everything needs to be done before Shabbat. But an oil press, when it's grinded, they agree that you can do it on Shabbat. Okay, the Gemara asks. Maishna kulu.
You said when it's grinded?
Yeah. So what we just spoke, the Gemara will explain.
Okay.
Maishna, with the first white line. What's the reason? Kulu, all of the listeners, the Mishnah, the gazru be'u Bet Shammai. Bet Shammai had a decree, not allowed to let it go into Shabbat. Umaishna korot betabat v'igulei agad. What's the reason with the oil press? The lo gazru, that they didn't make a decree and they permitted to go into Shabbat. Gemara answer, Anach. All of the first list, the Yavilu b'Shabbat mechayev chatat. If you would have done it on Shabbat, it assumed from the Torah, and if you did it by mistake, would be chayav to bring a korban, a sacrifice offering of chatat. Gazru be'u Bet Shammai erev Shabbat im chashecha. Bet Shammai were gozer on Friday before dark, not to let it run into Shabbat. Aval korot betabat v'igulei agad, the oil press. The Yavilu b'Shabbat. If you did it b'Shabbat, lo mechayev chatat. It's not going to be chayav chatat. Since anyway it's grinded, even if you did it yourself on Shabbat, you expedite it, you not have chatat, it's only asur from Rabbanan. Therefore, lo gazur, there is no decree. So we're learning a principle now, that anything that's going to come out by itself, it's not asur from the Torah. If you need the pressure to cause it to come out, if you have all olives and you put it in the wine press, without the pressure, it's not going to come out. Then asur from the Torah. When it's grinded, with the pressure of the press.
If it's not grinded, it's asur from the Torah.
Yeah, because the oil is not going to come by itself. If it's grinded, it's going to come by itself. It's asur only.
But the grinding is done before Shabbat.
Yeah, the grinding before Shabbat. Yeah.
Only on Avalat, that's the oraita, you bring a chatat. On anything that's Rabbanan, you don't bring a chatat?
Correct.
Interesting.
So one sec. If it's grinded, the oil comes out by itself?
Yeah.
Correct.
Because when you grind it, it מתחיל לצאת.
It go by itself anyways.
With time.
You're already...
It's grinded, it's about betray.
Betray with holes. Yeah, with holes.
As eventually it's just going to take
Right, by itself,
even if you put the press...
You're just expediting that process, but
so if I press the grinded,
you're doing something you would have done anyways without the press. You're just expediting it.
You're right, but we don't treat it on the same severity. Like we don't make גזירה to גזירה. אין דרבנן, חייבים לא make גזירה to גזירה מרבנן. Only to דאורייתא we make גזירות. Because anything Rabbanan, what's Rabbanan? It's a fence from doing...
It's a geder, yeah.
From doing melacha.
No, but the halacha also changes. Remember that where we said if the halacha is like me, that the river will flow upwards, and if it's like me, then the bat kol comes out, whatever.
No.
And then it's
and
like,
no. It's not like him.
Yeah, because Chachamim said...
So
it changes your reality. So
you're right, but it doesn't have the same severity, because everything Chachamim did, it's an offense, you shouldn't lead into the oraita. So it doesn't have the same severity of the oraita of Torah. somebody.
That I understand, but to give a chatat, maybe like you still
No,
do
no
the
chatat.
same,
For chatat, you need to do a sin that the Torah said for doing it to chayav
It's
chatat.
the oraita, yeah.
Like this week parasha, it's parashat Tzav. It's talking about if you did something the Torah said you should not do, and the Torah specify if you did it you're going to be chatat, then it will be korban of chatat. But anything else the Torah didn't say, then there is no korban of chatat.
Rabbi, didn't the Torah say to listen to the Rabbanim?
That's what I just said.
No,
I'm like,
נכון,
in theory, it's
but
You're
the
listening.
Torah-
You're
No, but
listening.
the Torah didn't say if you don't listen to Rabbanim, you have korban chatat.
Yeah.
The Torah said if you didn't keep the melachot of the Torah, then you have korban chatat. At this point, sometimes somebody told me very, very, very good explanation. Huh? Tell my wife. I'm just kidding. People say, rabbis make too many fences, enough, the Torah gave us enough, נכון? Also the rabbis, what? No, speak. So somebody gave me a great example. If you're standing on the 30th floor of a building, נכון? And you have an old roof open without any fence on the roof, נכון? Can you stand over here?
You could.
Can you?
You could.
Yes? Would you?
No.
No, you might do emergency landing, נכון? So
בלי parachute.
right.
Please, man, that should be close.
So if I'm putting a fence around the property, am I taking space from the property? It looks like yes. But in fact,
You're
the
saving me.
fence
You're saving
giving
me.
me much
Secure.
more space
now
because
you got closer.
without the fence, I wouldn't even stand over here.
Yeah,
נכון?
that's a
Maybe.
good point, yeah.
But you have a fence, it give me a much more area to stand by. So that's why all of the dinim of the Torah,
Exactly.
it's like you stay on the 30th floor. If you wouldn't do anything. But maybe on Shabbat shouldn't leave my house. I don't want to do my. Maybe I'm going to cause doing the oraita. Chachamim telling you, okay, here is the fence. Up to you, go all the way. You have no problem. That's the Chachamim enable us to do what we have to do.
Sometimes they make a fence here, and here.
No, there is no fence to fence. There is one fence. That's the rule.
That's the whole point that you just said. You don't.
Yeah.
There's no
That's why here is a
Rabbanan.
Rabbanan. We don't have a fence to Rabbanan. Rabbanan, it's a fence by itself. But Chachamim sometimes makes the fence bigger on special occasions. But we don't make a fence to a fence.
So using electricity,
No fence.
using electricity on Shabbat is strictly the Rabbanan.
It's not strictly, it's machloket, but we treat it officially.
It's like Zera de Rabbanan
It's
or
the Rabbanan. It's the
Doraita?
Rabbanan.
So it's not Doraita.
Depends which electricity.
So no
If you
chatat,
turn,
son.
if there is
Like a light.
spark, a light.
That's
LED
Torah.
is the Rabbanan.
That LED is the Rabbanan.
Is the Rabbanan, yeah.
Oh, the
Regular
other one
one
because
is-
it's technically a fire in between.
Yeah, so that's the Oraita.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Interesting. It's interesting.
But don't do it.
בית שמאי,
Your
אם זה
Tesla, if you have a
גריינדר,
Tesla,
מותר לך פרס.
לא,
דרבנן.
אסור לך פרס, אבל...
גריינדר.
If you have a goy driver for you, it's a דרבנן.
את הפרס, רק דרבנן.
You can go anywhere you want.
It's on autopilot.
Is Marie
אם
dying
דידי
ברבנן
גריינדר
also?
זה דאורייתא. הייתי גוזר
Yeah, I think
הכל.
so.
You cannot do the press.
לא, אבל שוב, אבל אם יש לך כבר גזירה דרבנן, שאסור...
do you mean?
עכשיו אנשים
לא,
רוצים
זה
לדבר
Rabbis
על זה.
declare what's
אם
Mali
זה-
dying.
זה-
I'm
זה-
not
זה-
quoting
זה-
Torah,
זה-
but they declare
לא,
like
לא עושים
what's
גזירה
Mali
לגזירה,
dying.
סתם, אתה יודעים.
Just like the
לא,
concept came
זה לא
from
גזירה
Torah
לגזירה,
about
זה גזירה
Shabbat.
אחת.
לפעמים
לא
יש-
להשתמש
לפעמים
בפרס.
יש מצבים
And like
שלנו.
fire,
אוקיי,
right?
פה שזה
But
גם-
the Rabbanan
אוקיי,
LED,
אני לא
like,
מתערב.
okay, they
לפעמים
say
זה-
this
זה-
is
הפרס
the
אסור
same thing with
בשבת.
like
אכפת
Mali
לך אם
dying.
זה
It's like
גריינדר,
I feel like
זה
Rabbanan.
Marie dying זה ברבנן?
Well, that's on something else, yes.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it.
Marie
We'll
Dying
reach,
is on-
we'll reach it,
Yeah.
Bezrat Hashem. Not today. Okay, next.
on.
The Gemara asks now 3 lines from the bottom. Man Tana, who is the Tana who holds the kolmidi de'ati mimela shapir dami? Anything that's going to come out by itself, it's mutar on Shabbat. Like over here, like the olives. So who is the Tana of our Mishnah who hold the things that are going to come, liquid that come by itself, it's mutar. Amar Rabbi Yossi bar Rabbi Chanina,
Rabbi
Rabbi
Shmuel.
Shmuel is the Eidiger Rabbi Shmuel. Which Rabbi Shmuel? The Tnan, we said in the Mishnah, Hashum, garlic,
Garlic.
והבוסר, בוסר are grapes that are not ripe, and it's good. They used to squeeze, it used to be like a vinegar, נכון, used to be a vinegar for meat cooking. Okay, so if you want to cook meat, let me know. והמלילות,
There's 3 or 4 stages of the grape.
Yeah, yes, מדע,
it's white.
פה זה הבוסר, כן. והמלילות, there are stalks, wheat, that wasn't again ripe, שריסקן מבעוד יום, if you already crushed it from before Shabbat, רבי ישמעאל אומר, יגמור משתחשך, he is allowed to let it go when it's dark.
What does that mean?
Let it
Meaning,
grind.
if he grinded before, if he crushed it before Shabbat,
No.
then it's allowed to continue running on Shabbat, even though the liquids comes out on Shabbat. Similar to המשנה.
Same thing. Same thing.
That's the ורבי עקיבא אומר, לא יגמור. Rabbi says, no, it's not allowed to let it finish on Shabbat. So you see. So this, who said that? Rabbi Yossi ber Rabbi Chanina said that our Mishnah is Rabbi Ishmael.
Oh, yeah.
Rabbi Yossi ber Rabbi Chanina, remember his name? He said that our Mishnah is Rabbi Ishmael, like we see by grapes and everything that you crush, it's allowed to continue into Shabbat. Rabbi Elazar said that our Mishnah is somebody else. You know whose?
Being crushed on
Whose?
Shabbat? It's allowed to keep being crushed on Shabbat?
No, if it's already crushed on Shabbat, it can continue the process of the liquid getting out on Shabbat.
How would you stop it?
You don't.
Put it on a bowl. Don't put it on the screen.
Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Elazar, he's saying it
Ah,
himself.
Rabbi Elazar disagree. Rabbi Elazar Amar, Rabbi Elazari. Rabbi Elazar said, you know
On
who's
himself?
that? He different. Rabbi Elazar. So יש רבי אלעזר בן פדת.
Okay.
He was an Amora. Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. Ben Shamoa po.
So how do you know
Rabbi
who's
Elazar
who?
ben Shamoa. No, because if Rabbi
said so.
Elazar
It's
speaking,
correcting the other one
if-
has to be higher?
you know, if Rabbi Elazar speaks in a Gemara, only Amoraim
Elazar.
speaking, not Tanaim.
Ben Shammai.
Tanaim it's in the Mishnah. And if you want to explain who was the opinion of the Mishnah, it must be a Tana. So that was Rabbi Elazar ben Shamoa.
Tanaim don't speak in the
They
Gemara,
weren't
only the
alive.
Mishnah?
Yeah, they're not big.
They weren't alive, right?
Yeah, it's very hard to speak when you're dead.
Oh, the Moraim are
Well,
in the
that's fine, I
Gemara. Okay, that makes sense now.
Sweet, yeah. What is mine? Flew over there. Okay, I'm sorry.
You take it away.
Next time, put less sugar. Rabbi Elazar Amar.
Almost grabbed yours.
Yeah, but wow.
It's like, yeah, Sham.
I'm gonna put also coffee, אחי. Rabbi Elazar Amar. Rabbi Elazar said, Rabbi Elazar איזה רבי אלעזר? דתנן, look on the next Mishnah. חלות דבש. מה זה חלות דבש?
The honey.
honeybee.
Honey
Honeycomb.
Honey is a cone.
Honeycomb. Comb or cone?
Comb. C-O-M-B.
C-O-M-B. Comb.
Comb. Okay.
Isn't that a cereal?
It is a cereal. It is a cereal.
So honeycomb, so באמת, רבי ישראל הציע שזה, honeycomb is that food or drink?
Food.
Food.
Because you eat it.
Excellent. שריסקן בערב שבת. If he crushed it from before Shabbat, he grind it. ויצאו מעצמם, the liquid come out by itself throughout Shabbat, the honey. אסור. ורבי אלעזר מתיר.
That's also
So therefore, Rabbi Elazar said, our Mishnah is this Rabbi Elazar.
Which
Rabbi Elazar po said, if you crush the honeycomb before Shabbat, the liquid that comes out on Shabbat, it's mutar by the honey. Same thing, our Mishnah, by the olive press, since you grind it before Shabbat, it's okay if it's continue running into Shabbat.
Alright. Small question that maybe, I'm not קשור, אבל אתה רוצה את המיץ, נכון? אתה רוצה להמיץ את הג'אק.
נכון?
יש משהו פה לגבי זה...
But again, it's
זה
crushed
צוי
before.
לקבל?
It's already crushed, so therefore it's not considered as melacha on Shabbat. So,
זה לא...
I want to ask
זה
you
לא
a special
מוכן
עליו.
לקבל טומאה משהו, נכון?
זה something else, טומאה זה משהו אחר.
לא, I'm asking though, is that...
כן, זה משהו אחר, טומאה זה משהו אחר.
Why did they...
So, Rabbi said, from now on, until 11 lines forward, no questions, okay?
Okay.
Then I'll promise I'll answer it. בלי נדר. Okay,
תיגמר הבטריה
so far, Rabbi Yossi בר חנינא said that our Mishnah regarding the olive press, that it's motar since it was grinded. According to Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina, it's Rabbi Ishmael, who said buy non-ripe grapes if it was crushed before Shabbat, it's okay to go into Shabbat. And Rabbi Elazar said that our Mishnah is Rabbi Elazar, who hold by honeycombs, if you crush it before Shabbat and the honey come out in Shabbat, that it's mutar. That's similar to our Mishnah by olive press. Now the Gemara is going to bother why each one didn't say like, why Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina didn't say like Rabbi Elazar, I love you, and why Rabbi Elazar didn't say Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina. The Gemara says no question. Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina,
Where's the shirt?
my time lo amar כרבי אלעזר. Why Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina didn't say that our Mishnah is like Rabbi Elazar with the honeycomb? Amar lach is going to answer to you. You cannot compare the case of honey to the case of
Grape?
olives.
Oh, olives.
Olives. Why you said?
One's good, one's not.
Atamu, לא.
One's food.
Atamu דמעיקר האוכל.
One's
Honey,
food.
at the beginning it's food, and then ואשתה, אוכל. וואו.
בסוף אוכל.
אה?
בסוף אוכל.
מה אתה אומר? בסוף אוכל, יהיה.
לא בסוף אוכל.
אחא דמעיקר האוכל ולבסוף אוכל. Right, so by honey, we treated food
The beginning
even
food and
before and after.
Right.
Before your had honey itself called food.
Right.
So he said that's why you cannot compare honey because food that come out of food is the same thing. So that would not be considered as separating. But our Mishnah, we're talking about honey.
Olives. Olives are food before.
Oil that come out of olives. That's liquid.
That's liquid. Drink.
Come out of food. So who said
Not
that
drink
Rabbi?
either.
But we treat it as liquid. Who said that Rabbi Lazar would agree that it's mutar? When Rabbi Lazar said it's mutar, it's only food to food. But food to liquid, he didn't say. That's why Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Chanina didn't say like Rabbi Elazar. Acha mikar ochel v'asha mashkif. Now the opposite, ורבי אלעזר, why would the answer on the problem? It's a big problem. נכון, it's food and food. How can Rabbi Elazar learn that Mishnah Rabbi Elazar when it's food to food, when our Mishnah it's really
Food to liquid.
food to liquid? When it says Rabbi Elazar Amar Lach will tell you, you're right that the case of Rabbi Elazar of this Mishnah is by honey, but we have also additional information. Ashma'ina lil Rabbi Elazar, we know by the name of Rabbi Elazar the Tana, דאפילו זיתים וענבים נמי שערי. Even olives and grapes, it's also mutar, the same thing as honey. Deha, how do we know that? כי עתה רב הושעיה מנהרדה, when Rabbi Hoshaya came from the city of נהרדה, עתה he came, והייתי מתניתה בידי. He brought a beraita, quotes Rabbi Elazar in the following way, זיתים וענבים שריסקן מערב שבת, זיתים, olives and grapes that he crushed it from before Shabbat, ויצאו מעצמם, and it came out by itself, אסורים. רבי אלעזר ורבי שמעון מתירים. So you see, state מפורש, state, it's clear, specified in this braita, that the din of Rabbi Elazar is not limited to honey, it's also to olives and grapes. So therefore, our Mishnah can be like Rabbi Elazar. The Gemara says, if so, ורבי יוסי ברב חנינא, if that's the case, how come he didn't say that Braita is Rabbi Elazar? If Rabbi Elazar spoke about olive also, why he didn't say? Braita לא שמיע לי, הוא לא שמע. He didn't hear about this Braita. He only knew about the מחלוקת of the Mishnah of the honey. So therefore he didn't want to say like the honey because honey is food and food. Braita, he didn't hear. So now we understand why Rabbi Elazar said like Rabbi Elazar, because he knew the Braita. The opinion of Rabbi Elazar, it's also by...
Rabbi Yossi did it.
But Rabbi Yisrael didn't.
Rabbi Ishmael. Where's
Now,
Rabbi Ishmael? Come on.
ask Sean, even though we're not allowed to ask, Rabbi Elazar, my time, לא אמר, כרבי יוסי ברב חנינא. Let's do the opposite. Okay, how come Rabbi Elazar didn't say like Rabbi Yossi ברב חנינא? That our Mishnah is like Rabbi Ishmael. Because we have state Mishnah over there, you have grapes over there that being crushed, and liquid comes out, mutar on Shabbat.
Because that one is one topic, this one is both topics. This is about food and the
No, but both of them is liquid.
What?
Because over there we're talking about
Grapes
grapes
to liquid.
to vinegar.
Yeah, to liquid.
No, the first case was that he was saying, like liquids, but the other one was food and liquid.
No, but that's only by Rabbi Elazar by honey.
Bring both.
That's by honey, we said
Rabbi
Rabbi
Ishmael.
Elazar. But the case of Rabbi Ishmael was
Grapes.
by grapes. Shum ve'agoser. Grapes is
So
liquid.
you asked why didn't Rabbi Elazar bring up that bread,
Exactly, nachon. Because that bright is
It's
beautiful.
perfect.
Food
Fits
to
perfectly.
liquid.
Yeah.
Just like olives is olives to oil, food to liquid.
Okay.
So it's exactly the same. Why didn't say that? Rabbi Elazar, my time, לא אמר כרבי יוסי ברב חנינא, אמר לך, he's going to tell you, לה ויתמר עלה, didn't we have a special reservation on that opinion of Rabbi Ishmael? What was the reservation? אמר רבי ברב חנינא, אמר רבי יוחנן, over there we have מחלוקת הקוני between Rabbi Ishmael and Rabbi Akiva. According to Rabbi Ishmael, it's allowed to finish. According to Rabbi Akiva, it's not allowed to finish.
Right.
So he said, במחוסרים דיחה דכולי עלמא לא פליגי. If it's missing basic crushing,
A what?
דיחה,
Crush.
Crush, yeah. If it's missing crush, you said, yeah? Mashing. So if it's missing mashing, nobody argued that it's asur. If you didn't mash it yet, even Rabbi Ishmael hold that it's asur. You didn't mash it.
Alright.
כי פליגי במחוסרים שחיקה. When it's missing, how do you say in English over there? מה אתה אומר?
שחיקה, no.
That's, לא, מחוסרים שחיקה, grinding. I think it's grinding. So the מחלוקת of Rabbi Ishmael, he said, if it's missing mashing, that, so meaning we're talking about that it's partially grind, but it needs to be mashed after. Pounded, that's the word? Pounded. So if you start grinding it, and I think there are 3 stages. You grind it, and then you mashing it, and then you are squeezing, I think, pounding it. Pounding it.
Mashing is a pounding.
It's a higher level of...
Mashing is higher than grinding?
You know, first you grind it, you break
grinding
it,
is
and
the
then you
most.
put the pressure, mashing, and then
grind
you're pounding it, you put a lot of...
This makes sense.
No, I hear you, but mashed potatoes
So
is
therefore
like
he
the
said,
most
so
mashed.
their machloket,
that's why I'm
so their machloket is, if it's missing, if it's much, it's missing dicha, if it's missing the second step, the mashing, everybody hold that it's asur. The machloket of Rabbi Ishmael and Rabbi Akiva, if it's missing the pounding, according to Rabbi Ishmael it's mutar, according to Rabbi Akiva it's asur. That's the machloket regarding the grapes. He said by olives, we're treating it, after it's grind, it's still missing
The mashing.
the mashing. So the prey is creating also
The mashing.
the mashing. So according to Rabbi Shmuel, what will be the din?
Asur.
Asur. That's why Mishnah cannot be Rabbi Ishmael. Because when Rabbi Ishmael said it is mutar only by the 3rd step, by the
When did
second
he say
step,
that?
he never said that. That's that's how, let's read it inside.
The 3rd step is just letting it come out on its own.
This is when Rabbi Yochanan expand the machloket. So when Rabbi Ishmael argued on Rabbi Akiva that it's mutar only by the 3rd step, by the second step he never said it's mutar. And our Mishnah is the second step. That's why our Mishnah cannot be Rabbi Ishmael. Therefore Rabbi Elazar said that our Mishnah will be Rabbi
Elazar.
Elazar didn't say it either.
Rabbi Elazar said that Mishnah is Rabbi Elazar.
But that they didn't include mashing and pounding on that.
No, so that's only the machloket of Rabbi Ishmael and Rabbi Akiva regarding boser, non-ripe grapes. It's only by the 3rd step. Second step, they don't argue, and he holds that it's asur. Our Mishnah is talking about the second step, and it's still mutar, so cannot be Rabbi Ishmael. Must be Rabbi Elazar that said even the second step, according to him, it's mutar.
Okay, I got it.
So, כי פליגי, איפה אנחנו? אמר לך, דלה בגיבית אמר לך, להבעית מרלה, דינו ביסיונת, אמר רבי בר חנינא, אמר רבי יוחנן, במחוסרים דיחה, if it's missing, what's the second step to mashing, לכולם לא פליגי דתית אסור. כי פליגי במחוסרים שחיקה, this is when רבי שמואל and רבי עקיבא arguing. ואני נמי, באתי נקצר במשנה, כמחוסרים דיחה דמו. As if it's missing mashing, it's missing the second step. You know that Rabbi Shmuel never said it's okay. And therefore, Rabbi Elazar didn't say that our Mishnah eats Rabbi Ishmael. The Gemara conclude, Ora Rabbi Yossi bar Rabbi Chanina, הלכה למעשה we hold like Rabbi Ishmael, that if it's missing mashing, it's a problem. If it's missing pounding, it's okay.
So what was his ברייתא?
מה אתה אומר?
זה היה ברייתא של ישמעאל אז.
You hold like Rabbi Ishmael, yeah. So that's a side thing, that הלכה למעשה we hold like Rabbi Ishmael. But again, our Mishnah cannot be Rabbi Ishmael.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not that the Mishnah is Rabbi Ishmael. It's
Right, you just said that halacha will be
Halacha
like
is
Rabbi
Rabbi
Ishmael. If you don't mind, I'd like to continue the mode on no questions. Shemen shel badadin. So the following list, I need to give an introduction. There is a famous machloket in the world between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon of the dinim of muktzeh. According to Rabbi Yehuda, any muktzeh, assuming we know the concept, muktzeh means something that is out of your mind. Anything you're not allowed on Shabbat, it's out of your mind. Anything that is too expensive on Shabbat, sakin of shchita, it's very fragile, very delicate, it's out of your mind. So anything, any muktzeh, you're not allowed to move, you're not allowed to touch on Shabbat. Rabbi Shimon said that muktzeh, mutar to move. If you need something for yourself, you're allowed to move muktzeh, נכון? If you need a hammer,
Became in your mind.
huh?
It's in your mind now.
Even though it's a muktzeh hammer, it's asur, it's
But if
intent
it's in your
for
way,
building.
you're allowed to move it.
If you need it, or it's in your way, you're allowed to move it. So the general halacha being said, Rabbi Yehuda hold the dinim of muktzeh, everything is muktzeh, you're not allowed to move anything on Shabbat, even if you bother on your way. And according to Rabbi Shimon, we don't have the problem of muktzeh. The following halachot, we're going to see machloket between Rav and Shmuel. We have about 5-6 cases that the fundamental, the Gemara will conclude of those halachot is Rav hold like Rabbi Yehuda of muktzeh, therefore he was machmir, he will be machmir, and Shmuel holds like Rabbi Shimon, there is no problem of muktzeh, and therefore he will be lenient. We need your help, Josh, okay? So, shemen shel badadin. The olive, the oil that left by the oil press, give me translation, I'm trying to be
The oil of the olive press?
Okay, not too bad. So the remaining olive is oil of the olive press, and they used to use it, they used to give it to badadin, what is that, for the oil makers?
Olive presses?
The oil presses, oil presses, okay?
Rabbi, go ahead.
Okay, so this oil that they used to leave it on the corner, umachzelot shel badadin. They used to have special mats to cover the olives before processing with. Rav said, Asur, you're not allowed to carry it because of muktzeh. Since those olives are not being designated to be eaten, rather designated to be pressed, so at this point you're not allowed to use it on Shabbat. So the mats that covering it, according to Rav, like Rabbi Yehuda, it's muktzeh, and therefore asar. V'Shmuel, shari, Shmuel permit. He has no problem of muktzeh. Next stage. Ani karche de zuze. They used to have special mats at the boats, used to cover the merchandise in the boats with a special mat. Tarps, yeah, I think better. Rav asar, Rav again prohibited. V'Shmuel, shari permitted. Amar Rav Nachman, another din. Ez lechalba. A goat which designate to be milked out, v'rachel legizata, and a sheep that designated to be cut the wool. All those not allowed to be done on Shabbat. You're not allowed to milk a cow, not allowed to shave a sheep. V'tarnegolet lebetzata, and an egg for its egg, and a hen for its egg. V'torah deradia, an ox that made to plow fields. All those are designated for a prohibited use on Shabbat. V'tamri deiska, if you have dates that designated to be export or to be transferred somewhere for business purposes, and you not have an intention to eat from it on Shabbat. Rav asar. Rav said it asur muktzeh. V'Shmuel amar mutar. V'kamifligi, their machloket is about.
You're saying to move a cow, let's just say, like to touch a cow?
Yeah, to move it, yeah. V'kamifligi, they're arguing, beplukta de Rabbi Yehuda veRabbi Shimon. Rav holds like Rabbi Yehuda is machmir, and Shmuel holds like Rabbi Shimon. More of an interesting story. Haud Talmida was a student, the Ori the Ora'a. He gave a halacha on a place called Charta de Argiz.
Wow. מה זה? איזה שם, מה זה?
The Charta de Argiz, on that place, he said the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon. There's no problem of muktzah. So the Gemara says, Shamte Ravuna excommunicated him. Meaning, he gave him a special cherem, a special,
You send him the chalta about.
So he was excommunicated? Huh? Yeah, excommunicated.
Wait, who got excommunicated?
The Talmid who said that the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon.
That there is no muktzeh.
You go to
חרם, כאילו, מדברים איתו וזה, כן, אז זה punishment. The Gemara said, what's the problem? כרבי שמעון סביר עלן, but we hold הלכה למעשה במוקצה, like רבי שמעון, that is מותר. So מה הבעיה? The Gemara says, לא, the problem was באתרא דרב הווה. It was by the city of רב. לא הווה ללמי עבד אחי. If the city of רב, if the הלכה over there, it's like רב, you need to shut up, don't give halachot somewhere else, then the halacha is different. That's why I have a minhag. I never give halachot in any other shuls. Because this Rav maybe hold like somebody else, he has his own. You don't give. That's Be'atre de Rav, you don't give halachot. Last case before the questions. Ani trei talmidim. There were two students. Chad matzil, bechad mana. Okay, so this is really mamash off topic. I just said quick. There is a machloket later on in the Perek Adleka, Kutuvei HaKodesh. If there is a fire, are you allowed to save from the fire on Shabbat?
Yeah, to what?
Save items.
Fire
What?
in one house. can you save items and bring it to another house on Shabbat?
That are muktzeh?
Ah?
That are
So
muktzeh?
over there, we're talking about...
אמרנו זה ספרי תורה, דיברנו על זה.
כן, we're talking about over there, חצר, that Eruv is only midirabanan. Whatever, I don't want to get into it.
Okay.
Because it's Friday. And so over there is machloket how much you're allowed to carry. Are you allowed to carry either with one container a lot, so it's one move, or a lot of small containers?
Small, right.
So, אני תראי תלמוד, there were two students, חד מציל בחד מנה, one was saving
With one.
from a fire with one big container, וחד מציל בארבע וחמש מני, and the one was saving with 4 and 5 containers, וכמיפליגה, they were arguing, בפלוגתא דרבא בר זבדא ורבונה, they were arguing over there, that מחלוקת, whether if one container is enough or 2 containers, meaning the
While
message,
house is on fire.
I think, what?
They were arguing while the house is on fire.
No, they're not arguing. Each one did according to the one he holds, like, so...
Why would this come in this specific portion? How does it connect to the previous thing?
So I think the chidush over here is, just like we said earlier, each one can sell like his own rabbi.
I got you.
And we live in a world that people intend to bash people that are not similar to them. You know,
You do how you
unfortunately.
learn.
You Sfardi, you Ashkenazi, you Chabad, you Chosev, it's so wrong. Each one has his own color, his own beauty, and it's okay. You do like
If זה מתאים לו.
you do Ben Ish Chai, you do like Ravot. I mean, each one can do like his own without putting anybody down, because Am Yisrael built from those colors. Amen.